Hey guys, Benny Adams here with Hollywood Junkie, and today we're talking about the latest episode of The Bachelorette. There are 8 guys left, and I got some extra stuff for you, so stay tuned because we're going to be talking about some spoilers that happened during the Men Tell All. So if you don't want to know, you have been warned. But first, let's just start talking about the beginning of the episode. So the guys meet Michelle's students, which I loved. These students were so cool. They were so awesome. I loved how they all had like their thoughts on each and every guy. And I really loved, we're going ahead a little bit, but I really loved how one of the students was kind of iffy about Martin and they called it, which was crazy. But basically the students were able to pick one guy to go on a one-on-one date with Michelle, and they chose Clayton. I thought that was a really good pick. He seemed like he meshed well with the kids. He got along great with them. So during the first one-on-one date, Clayton and Michelle, they went to a natural history museum. And I thought this was cool. You know, I thought Clayton was doing really well. I thought he was opening up. I thought Michelle was opening up towards him. They were getting more comfortable. Michelle did say she needed this date to be, you know, a date where she can see some clarity with him. She could see a future with him. So I was surprised when when Clayton didn't get that rose, because I thought he was doing so well, but he ended up not getting it. He ended up going home. And for some reason, I felt like the guys knew this was going to happen because they were talking about it also, and they called it. So now let's go to the group date, and the group date was so much fun to watch. It was they were on a farm, and they were doing like this little competition where they were milking cows, and it was really interesting to see the guys go at it. And then they were doing like other competitions as well. I thought this was really, really cool. And they all seemed like, I really like this group of guys. Like, for the most part, they all seem like they're there for the right reasons. They all seem like they're there for Michelle. All right, now we have to talk about Martin because this was crazy, 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 crazy. So Martin, he opens up to the guys and he starts talking about how Michelle pretty much hasn't really dealt with her problems, and he's calling her immature about the way she's dealing with them. And so this was told to Michelle, and obviously she did not take kindly to it. So she had a conversation with Martin, and it was very awkward. And the guy would not let her talk, and she even mentioned it. She was just like, "Let me talk." And one thing I like about Michelle is she stands her ground, and she really is a strong woman. I know a lot of the guys on the show, they say she's a strong woman, but she really is. You know, from a viewer's point of view, I really get that sense. And I really get a sense that she knows her sense of self and she knows what she wants. So good for her for standing her ground, calling Martin out and giving him the boot. I 100% agreed. And like I said in the beginning, you know, the kid who called Martin out and said she didn't trust him, you know, she was on point. She was on point. All right. So now let's go to the second one-on-one date. It was with Brandon and Michelle. This was such an awesome date. Brandon got to see where Michelle grew up. He got to see her childhood home. So that was really cool. So she shows him around. He sees everything. They go in the jacuzzi. They make out. Then out of nowhere, her parents come. Felt a little bit staged, but it's reality TV. I'm pretty sure Brandon did not know because his facial expression was very crazy, and I loved it. One thing I really liked about this date was just you really got to see what a stand-up guy, the type of stand-up guy that Brandon is. All right, so one thing that I really loved is when Brandon, he wanted to talk to the parents separately, and he pretty much asked for their permission to propose to Michelle, which I thought was very awesome. I thought that was so cool because, you know, it's still pretty early on, and he's asking this huge question for the parents, and the parents, they say yes, it's completely fine. So I really thought that was a special moment. And then another special moment that I have to talk about is Brandon giving Michelle the bracelet that his mom gave him, and he said that, you know, I wanted to give this to you, you know, if there was a special connection between us. That's what my mom told me. And I thought that was really cool. You know, you can really tell that Brandon is falling for Michelle. But something else I want to bring up is the fact that Brandon, you know, he said, you know, like, I'm falling in love with you. And Nate has also, but it seems like Michelle has really only responded to Nate about that and not to Brandon, which I'm sorry, if I had to pick between Brandon and Nate, I like Brandon more. I don't know why. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But after that amazing one-on-one date, we then go back to the group of guys and they're waiting for the cocktail party, and especially Olu, because he hasn't had, you know, a one-on-one date yet. So he really wants this time to talk to Michelle and to open up to her more. But then they're told that Michelle already knows what she's going to do. And so there will be no cocktail party. You know, at first when I found this out, I was surprised, but then I was like, you know what? It's too far along in the game now. She should know what she wants by now. So I completely understand and I completely agree why she did what she did. So we get to the rose ceremony. So we already know that Nate and Brandon have a rose. So there are 2 roses left to round out the final 4. So the men who got roses were Rodney and Joe. Really excited because I really like these guys. I really wanted to see them go far in the game. And then the men who went home, Olu, I was rooting for Olu like no other. I really want to see him become the next Bachelor down future seasons. You know, I think that would be really cool to see him as a Bachelor. Rick, Martin, and Clayton were the other people who went home. And then the final 4 men, you guys, Brandon, Rodney, Nate, and Joe. And one thing I want to mention real quick is I actually know this is the first season. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% sure that this is the first season where the final 4, they are all minorities, which I think is really cool. And it shows, you know, how far we've come. So I really love the representation that this season is showing. I think that's really cool. All right, guys, now for the juicy stuff. And before I go on, spoiler warning. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, you've been warned. But we had a source go to a taping of the Men Tell All, which actually happened this past Monday. So they were able to get all the inside scoop of, you know, everything that went down. And so I'm here to tell you about this inside scoop that we received from the taping. So let's first start talking about Tayshia. So we all heard in the news, we heard rumors that Tayshia broke up with Zach, and they addressed it. Apparently, she got very emotional about it, rightfully so. You know, she picked him to be that one, that was her person. So it was quite a shock that they broke up. Very, very interesting. I can't wait to hear more about this. I can't wait to see this unfold on TV. Here's an even more bigger spoiler. So again, you have been warned, but our source says that 3 men went to the fantasy suite. Rodney will not be one of those men. Peter and Will continued their feud during the show. So there's some inside tea for you right there. So finally, the last juicy scoop that we have from the Men Tell All is who the next Bachelor will be for season 26. And so the next Bachelor is, drum roll, Clayton. So I want to know what you guys think about Clayton being the next Bachelor. I was very surprised. I'm very happy for him, obviously, but I was very surprised that he is the next Bachelor because he really I didn't get that big of a storyline from him. I don't know why. And I will say, we're going back a little bit. When Michelle walked him out, we did get an extra scene from him where the kids wrote him a letter. And it was a really touching scene. He read 2 letters. He got very teary-eyed. And so now it makes sense why why they gave him that extra scene, because I don't think we've seen any of the other men get an extra scene like him. So I kind of get why they did that now. And then I thought it was really cute that one of the kids said that, I want you to be the next Bachelor. I thought that was pretty funny. And I also want to mention during the car ride where, he was sent home. Obviously, he was heartbroken because, he really put himself out there and he said, I'm just going to go back into my little shell. But, I guess that's all changed now. And, we're going to see him as the next Bachelor, trying to find his perfect person. So we're going to have to see how that goes. I have high hopes for that season. Until next time, you guys, thank you for coming on, watching me talk about this episode of The Bachelorette. It was fun. And I will see you guys next time.